Looks like this thing is working. Just waiting for the stream to come online. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Looks like it's working. Hey, what's up? This is Dave. This is What's Up Dave for Thursday, May 17. It is, I don't know, 11:47 a.m. here in overcast New Hampshire. And this is the second stream for the week. This is the first one I'm feeling relatively normal now after recovering from my Taiwan trip. I'm pretty much over the jet lag, I think. And there's a few things I want to talk about today. Let's just make this real fast. Try to keep these things at about 15 minutes. So on the list of things to do are getting my head straight, spicy noodles, this mission poster I'm working on, and some stuff I got in Taiwan for show and tell. So this should be pretty fast. Hopefully it's interesting. Let's get started. Discombobulation. So an interesting thing about being on vacation for 2 weeks and then the week before that getting ready for it, the 2 weeks in Taiwan, and then the week or so afterwards of just getting my head straight. It's just kind of remembering like what it is I used to do before I went. What was my routine? What was holding me to it? And it turns out not very much. Yesterday or the day before yesterday, I was getting used to re-immersing myself in the project work that we have going in. I discovered we had picked up another contract for June, July, so I could be as busy as I want to be. Of course, I don't really want to be that busy. At the same time, it's good to have work, right? Just to have some way of maintaining regular progress on it. But one thing that I had discovered when I was in Taiwan on May 5th, May 5th is not only my dad's birthday, but it's also a Groundhog Day resolutions review day. And when I was reviewing my Groundhog Day resolutions, I realized again I had forgotten what they were. Or I didn't have a sense that I was making progress on them. I wasn't thinking about them all the time. And so I wanted to elevate my, my Groundhog Day resolution goals to a state where I could remember what those were. And so I had the idea of resurrecting something I called the Concrete Goals Tracker, but instead of actually using it as is, and let me just pull it up here real quick. Let's see, davidsay.com/ oh, let's just go to the productivity tools page. The Concrete Goals Tracker was a form I made to keep me focused on stuff that applied to my freelance work. And essentially it's two parts. It's a list that has, these are things that if anything I'm doing, if I can say that it's on this list of things, doing life-sustaining work, starting new business, publishable code, sharp visual design, concrete planning or accounting, blah, 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 that meant I was working on my business. If it wasn't on this list, I wasn't. That was the cutoff. These were the rules of thumb. And these points were a way to assign or calculate the number, how effective I was during the day. If I actually made money or signed new business, that was big points. If I was talking to people, sending emails or so forth, those were those few points. But the things that had the lower point values were tended to be things that I did every day. Things that were somewhere in between, like, you know, making something that I could show to someone, publishable code, design, any kind of planning that would promote the making of things. Those were worth 5 points, and those happened more frequently. So the idea was I could every day see what my points were, and I would track them on this form, in which, like, I would say the number of 10-point items, the number of 5-point items, the number of 2-point items, and so forth. Now, the way that I started making this form in the first place was not by designing the whole thing as is. I just actually started with the list. I was trying to think of what are the things I should be working on. So I can do this quick gut test of saying, all right, I'm doing this or I'm not doing, I'm working on this. Can I justify this as being related to making my business better? Either by bringing income or making things to show to people and then talking to people. Those are the three fundamental aspects of running my freelance business. And so I've tried to recreate that by making a new form. So let me go grab it. Let me move this cat out of the way first. Ugh. Say hello, cat. Okay, I guess you're not gonna say hello. Then you're gonna come with me. So I started designing this thing over here. It'll be a little easier to see, I think, if I just actually pull up the file. But in the meantime, while I'm pulling that up, you can look at it over here on camera 2. I'm playing around with a different camera setup now. This is using, actually, I can just show it to you. I'm using this this camcorder I bought for making videos in Taiwan. And it's plugged into this UTAP HDMI converter. Which what this does is it takes an HDMI source and it makes it appear as a webcam device. Unlike other devices, this actually really works really well. So any HDMI source will go right smoothly into it, unlike the Blackmagic makes something called a mini recorder, and it's junk. Don't buy it. This thing actually works as is with OBS. It's about 2.5 times as much as the Blackmagic mini recorder, but you can plug in any HDMI source into it, including your DSLRs and like other fancy things. So this camcorder has an HDMI output on it, so it works just fine. The only downside is that this particular camera is not particularly adjustable, but I think the video quality is better than when I was using my other cheap webcam. The real webcam I have here is a Brio 4K camera, which has pretty good quality. The other one was a older Logitech C920. Still not bad, but it had these focus issues, and I don't think it was just the output was as clean as like this more dedicated camera. So anyway, let me pull up the Illustrator file. Another thing I'm going to do is today I'm going to go to the local makerspace. They have an open house on Thursdays at 6 p.m. and I think I'm going to join. It's like $70 a month to join, but it's cheaper than buying a laser cutter myself. If I bought a laser cutter myself, that would pay for 7 years of belonging to this thing. I can join for a couple months and figure out if I like it or not. And I can start doing some woodworking projects, or even just be in another space. I'm curious to see if I can stream from this space. But anyway, let's take a look at what we've got going on over here. So this is Illustrator I'm loading up. And this is the poster that I was designing. So, as I was mentioning with the concrete goal tracker, I started by making the list. And this is the equivalent of the list, this sign on the right side. DS Cafe, that's the Discord co-working chat room where I've been hanging out with a bunch of people. Oh, there's a new version of Illustrator. And it took me a few hours to distill this language down to something that could act as a guideline. So everything that's on this page describes what it is I'm doing. Now, instead of my business being product focused as it has been in the past, like product as the most important emphasis, what I want to emphasize now is the place that I'm making. The place is the Discord chat. The place is this live stream. The place is my blog and the things that I do on it. It's creating a kind of community, but not, it's a community that I like, or the kind of community I would want to be a part of. So it's established as a place for inquisitive creatives to gather and generate working inspiration. You know, it's a little bit awkwardly phrased, but it's as close as I've been able to come now to describing my establishment. If this was like a physical place or like a coffee bar or a coffee shop, that would be, this is how I would want to describe it. And then seeking people who are positive-minded, self-empowered, competent, conscientious, generous, considerate, and kind. That's the language I've been using for my website for 10 years. That's part of the DNA of this place I'm making. That practice, exploring, learning, building, sharing, this is another thing that goes back, I don't know how many years. Again, if I go to my website, I think I might have, is this still on here? Explore, no. Let me see if I can find it. There was a poster I had made like a while ago. and it had summed up something that was pretty important to me. I'm seeing if it's in like one of these sub pages. Virtual co-working, new gratitude, blah blah blah, collections, information. A Tao of Dave, was that it? I don't even remember what this is. No, this is something else. This was something I was writing to describe what was important to me. I can't believe I can't find this. Explore, learn, build, share, David say. There's the wallpaper. I had made this a long time ago. 2012 it looks like. So 5 or 6 years ago. This was a combination, this is a distillation of what my process was. What I seem to naturally like doing. And so I built that into this poster here. Hey Bob, what's up? You're up on my third screen as I work. He's at least next to me. Okay, it's great to see you here. Hope your meeting goes well. What have you been working on lately? So finally, I think some of the cultural aspects of my place is sharing real experience that benefits everyone. These are things I believe, values. Change comes from creating and showing work. That also goes way back to at least 2005, when I realized that like nothing changes in the universe unless you show something you've made. You can do something, but if you don't show it to anybody, it has no chance of impacting the universe. And I want to impact the universe in some positive way, or at least make it suck less. That's super important to me. And then finally, this last part is the things that I'm doing, and this is really the rule of thumb. This is how I'm currently expressing these ideals, by having this virtual co-working cafe and doing the live streams like this, learning how to talk to people, learning how to engage with people more directly. The website, the blog, and any publications that I make, that's something upcoming. That's how I've traditionally done it. The design studio and tool shop, those are things that are related to the productivity tools page. These are things that people can buy or people can, I guess, commission. And then in-person collaboration and meetups, just doing more local stuff, not just all virtual. So those are the 4 main categories of things that I've been working on. So this is my current statement, which I'm hoping to put up someplace. And remember that this is what I'm doing. So I'm looking at the chat room. Bob Stanky? For my day job, working on building an influencer program. That sounds interesting. For a side hustle, working on growing my YouTube channel and developing a new content strategy. That sounds really exciting. I'll check out your channel later, Bob. Yeah, I like side hustles. We should have a side hustle meetup sometime and just like talk about what people are doing. I had to arrange one. I was trying to put one together before I went to Taiwan. Now that I'm back, I should put the feelers out there and see who's interested. One last thing on this poster, these internal directives, these aren't ones that we're going to make public, but I'll talk about them here. This is like how I think this works. One of the internal directives is I want to cultivate a nice place where I want to be. And this is where I'm unashamedly practicing the tenets. Sharing is caring, friendship is magic, and being excellent to one another. You know, all these kind of silly tropes that, you know, nevertheless make me feel really good. You can't just tell people you're doing this, but you just have to embody it. You know, share stuff, be nice to people, help people out, have shared experiences where you can become friends and learn about each other. Be excellent to each other. Finding the foundation of friendship and being able to share joy that you create together, that's really what all of this is about for me. But so I don't come across as a blithering idiot, I just don't lead with that. I just try to do through action. Secondly, the second internal directive is practicing the way of Dave as my unique quality. And by what I mean by that is like, you know, the things I'm describing here in this poster, like someone could just take this and say that they're doing the same thing. And I've seen people take stuff on my website and reframe it or rephrase it for their own use, which is fine. The ideas aren't protectable. But the unique way with which I tend to approach things, like my whole explore, learn, build, share language, my emphasis on gathering empirical data from personal experiments, the emphasis on defining and identifying metrics of achievement, and identifying the framing insights for both a pragmatic and emotional context. And then finally, just making stuff that kind of tests my hypotheses with that. That's something that's, I think, fairly uniquely me. The way I talk, the way I present things, the way I think. That is going to make this stuff sticky to the right people. The kind of people who want to be in a community like the kind I am describing. And then this final directive is what tangibly contributes to the mission, i.e. money. Designing new products, improving the shopping experience for the stationery business, publishing quality materials that can be easily link shared with the mission target audience, gathering people in online, offline spaces to share experiences in a friendly environment. If I'm doing anything that's related to these things, I am doing my job as I've defined it. I also need to actually do, one thing that's not on here is like the day contracting work, which is actually quite a bit of it now. But if I can steer those into it, like, for example, the stuff that I learned in the context of doing this paying work, if I can distill that down in a nice white paper or a good blog post, imbue it with the qualities of the community that are important to me, I think then I'm still on mission. And that's very exciting to think about. Then it becomes less of a chore that I have to do, and it's how can I expand the mission in different areas I haven't thought of before. Again, the internal directive is cultivating that nice place to be. Those positive-minded, self-empowered, competent, conscientious, generous, considerate, and kind people that I want to be my tribe. And so that's how I've been discombobulating, unconfusing myself as to what to do, trying to create a mission for myself. So that came out a lot more serious than I was really planning on making it. And I've probably already blown my budget, 17 minutes in. So let's just, we'll look at the noodles later, but let's just look at noodles. My sister's friend Sarah, who I guess now is my friend, sent me these. These are the San Yang spicy hot carbo flavor. I have no idea what the carbo flavor is. I am told though that it's similar to the hot cheese flavor. Now these are super spicy noodles. They're so spicy they actually list the Schofield heat rating on them. So let me see if I can actually see if it's on this package. Actually, it may not be on this particular one. Some of them say what it is. These are not particularly hot, but some of the hot spicy ones. This one maybe. This one might be hot. This is a flavor I haven't tried yet. Ma La flavor, which is a Sichuan peppercorn flavor. I'm hoping that these are intriguing. So I'm going to have to do these on my cheat day. Oh, my nail polish matches this packaging. That's awesome. So, cheat Saturday, I'll see if I can record some side video stuff. That's something I've been wanting to do. What's next on the list of things? Blah, blah, blah. I talked about the mission posters, spicy noodles, stuff I got in Taiwan. I might have to push that off to the next one, but I can show a few things. Like this. This is the damper baby. And this refers to this giant weight that they have in the tallest building in Taiwan, which is the Taipei 101. It's 101 stories high. We visited there. And I guess I think I have a picture of what the damper looks like, but I'll save that with it. It's basically this giant 320 metric ton weight that sways to counteract the movement of the building as it sways. So it reduces sway by about 40%. It's this big round ball thing, and it happens to kind of look like this. In Taiwan, like in Japan, everything has a mascot. And so this is one of the things that wiggles back and forth. It's solar powered, so it wiggles just like the damper in the Taipei 101. And it's amazing. There's a whole... These I was going to eat, but maybe I'll wait for these. These are charcoal-covered peanuts. There's bamboo charcoal coating it. And there's a peanut inside. And I had one of these at the gift shop in the Shueisha pier in Sun Moon Lake. So I'll eat these on camera at some point. And also one other thing to look at is this box. This is like a lunch, a retro style lunchbox that I guess has a place to put like your meat, and then you can put rice in the bottom of that. And this is the type of steamer that you would, I think in schools, you put it in a big steamer for lunch, and it would heat your meal up into hot temperature. But you know, it's a big metal lunchbox, and I love these kind of bento boxes, so I had to get this. I got this at the one of the Taipei metro stations near. This was near Taipei 101 actually. There was a little souvenir stand there, so I got this for about $10 or so. Totally worth it. Some other things are in this bag, like this awesome Taiwan #1 vinyl sticker, which refers to a meme of there was this American player playing this video game called H1 or H1Z1, HZ. It's one of those online shooter survival games, and he would troll the Chinese players who would say Taiwan #1, and they would hate that because they consider Taiwan to be part of China, and Taiwan does not consider itself as part of China, and so they would get all mad. It's like a sort of a nationalist trolling kind of thing. So I finally have one of those, and I even got like a poster. I got to stick it on the back of my my laptop here. See if I can show that. So is it pointing to it? Yeah. Taiwan #1, baby. So that's what's up with that. Anything else to talk about? I did post the last blog post I put up was actually day 6 of the Taiwan trip. So if you go to my website at davidsay.com, assuming you can type, and go to the blog section, you'll see this latest Sun Moon Lake trip. See some pictures. And the entire blog series, I'm catching up on it. Eventually I have everything posted. So you'll see some of my, these are kind of mediocre pictures. There is a fuller Flickr album that I'm uploading that has more pictures and more descriptions, and also a whole bunch of videos that I need to process into something, but I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. So that's what's up for today. That's what's up with me today. Next time I'll be online or streaming this is Monday, this coming Monday. There's a bunch of things I need to do today. I need to get to work. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and hope you have a good weekend. And all you people who are working on side hustles, like Bob here, I'm going to look at his website, or look at his YouTube channel. How do I do that? I'm just curious. Let's see what he does. Hope he doesn't mind. That looks like him. Digital strategy. Excellent. Let's see. Finance report to Google Data Studio. I don't even know what that is. Okay, this is cool. Good job. Yeah! Let's put some good information out there and make stuff happen. I approve. All right, talk to you later. Have a good weekend, and I will see you next week.